Hey guys, this is Joby, and I wanted to make a video about how to finish the Western Governors University Masters in Business Administration in one term. It was difficult to come to the decision to do this because I didn't want to make a video where it seemed to trivialize the degree. It is a lot of work, and just because you are able to finish it in one term doesn't mean that it's not equivalent to a degree that you would get in a traditional classroom setting. It's just a degree that's geared toward the future of learning, which is distance learning, people who are on their own time completing curriculums. And without this style, I wouldn't have been able to complete my master's. I wanted to start off by showing the course breakdown of when I had begun my term. I started my term June 1st, 2018, and I completed October 11th, 2018 is when the degree was awarded. The full term was June 1st through November 30th, but I finished early. All of my classes were completed by, let's see, right about the end of August. And I had signed up for the capstone but waited a couple weeks to try and understand exactly how to work through the capstone. So I lost a couple weeks there while I was trying to figure out where to begin on the capstone. So really it can be done in less, about 4 months if I had jumped right into the capstone. And this shows the courses that I took in the order that I took them, starting with C200 and then finishing up with the MBA capstone. But it can be done. I studied maybe five to 6 hours a day. I took weekends off for the most part, except for the capstone. And when the capstone came around, I put in some weekend time. So did my team. I had a team of 4 people. And I took my OAs on my own time. Usually, I took one of them at work on a lunch hour. One tip about the OAs is they generally give you, 2 hours to do roughly 70 questions. It can be done in less. I was doing my OAs in about 60, 65, 70 minutes, which made it go over on my lunch hour, but everybody at my workplace was pretty supportive, so I would steal away for as long as I needed to get the test done, and then I would run back to handle what I needed to do for the day. So if you've got a supportive work environment, I was able to really hammer out a lot of this during summer while all the teachers were off on vacations and our school district was quiet. So that helped a lot for me. I also would take off a day when I completed a class. I would complete a class and then I would finish out looking into the course material for the next class, but then the following day I would pretty much take off and not focus on school. The recharge time was important. When my term was scheduled for June 1st, I actually started looking at some of the material right on the 17th because they open up the classes on the 17th and you can actually go into them and activate them and look at them and start working on them. You just can't submit any papers. So if you want to grab a good 2 weeks on your study time, that's a good point to do it. Another tip is after you go through a class like C200, for example, you submit a paper, start working on the next paper right away. And then submit that one as soon as you're done, especially if they're not linked together. There are a couple of instances, like in data-driven decision making, where they prefer that you finish the first task and get it approved before you begin the second task. But for the most part, you can begin on another task and even another class if your mentor opens it up right away. And that'll help you to keep things going boom, boom, back to back. Another good tip is to have your template ready. I think I had a tip here. You go into the Learning Center. This WGU MindEdge link, try and recall that for use later. You can go into the Learning Center and find out how to do the APA format. And when you get your APA format down, you can create your APA template. Use this for everything you've got to do. Create your running head, get your hanging edge, get your first line indent, and just have something ready to go. This is just for the very first paper. After that, you can delete all this and just fill in what you need. I had even put in, I don't know if it was on this paper, yeah, I put in a quick test reference for something that would be in text. So you got your references page down. Just don't forget to delete references that you don't use, or make sure that they're all relevant, because I did have a paper return once where I accidentally left that in there and they were like, hey, what's this? So that's for the papers. OAs, Schedule your OAs, make sure that your phone is on silent. If it's with you, don't let them see it. Cover computer monitors, try and take things down off the walls, but just use your best judgment. Don't have too many things laying around. They're probably not going to give you any trouble on the OA tests, but it's best not to have them ask any questions. Some people have had nightmares about it. I personally didn't have any problems. And make sure that you use the restroom, make sure that you've taken your vitamin and drank your coffee, you got your brain on go. Everybody's got an ideal time that they do their best work. For me, it's about 10 a.m. Now you can still take your tests at other times, but just know that you might not be at your best. And each day is different. You know, you might wake up tomorrow and not feel good, or you might have sore throat or whatnot. Do your best to work through it. Take your airborne, get yourself in good shape. Don't give yourself any excuses to fail. Let's see, for me, what I did is on a class in general, I would begin by going right into the course material. I would look at the golden nugget, I would look at the course tips, any special videos, I would watch those, and then I would take the PA when I felt comfortable with what the class was about, and then I would use that score to determine if I needed to study more. But 90% of the time, I was going from the PA right into scheduling my OA, and then I would still keep studying. With the OA scheduled for the next day, I would keep studying. The nice thing about the tests is when you're ready, you can schedule it for almost 30 minutes from when you decide you're going to take it. So if it's noon and I decide I want to take it, there's probably going to be a 12:30 or a 12:45 slot, give or take. But you can schedule it for pretty much when you're ready to go. So that's another tip. This video is probably getting a little bit long, but if there's interest, I could continue on the videos for maybe one for each of the class or do a couple of classes per video. But I wanted to put this out there, and then I also wanted to reiterate that this is intense graduate school material. And a lot of this, if you have experience in it, you can start blasting through it. But if it's something that's not familiar, or if it's something that's a little bit more difficult for your skill set, it's going to take a little more time. But it can be done. You can finish this degree in one term. Alright, this is Joe B, and let me know if you guys like it. See ya.